Hi, everyone. My name is Virginia Dwan, also known as Mandarin Mama. I host a podcast called the Noona Army Podcast, where we discuss the particular aspects and challenges of being a middle-aged BTS fan. I'm a freelance writer and the entertainment editor for Mochi Magazine and the founder of Brazen Asian, which is an intimate retreat for Asian Pacific Islander, Dead Sea American creatives and influencers. Today, I have our special guest, film composer Chris Wong, back via Zoom. So, Chris, why don't you introduce yourself and the stuff you do?
Hi, Virginia. Thanks for having me back. I'm Chris Wong. Virginia and I have known each other for a long time. I write music for movies, and most of my movies come out in Vietnam. I'm really happy with everyone I work with over there. It's been a really fun ride. And BTS is something that I'm kind of new to. I don't really know their stuff, and I guess that's kind of the point, because then you get to see a first reaction to things. So here I am.
So for those of you who haven't seen his previous reactions, they're in the playlist. But the main purpose is Chris is a film composer, so I'm asking him to evaluate the music based on the musicality of it. It's arranged, whatever. I could make up more words, but I'm not a...
I'll make up some words. You're good.
So we're not looking at video. I mean, sometimes we'll look at the actual videos. I'm not as interested in the lyrics for him or like the deep meaning or some like whatever. Yeah, so you guys know the purpose of Chris, I'm trying to show him as a very wide variety of BTS's music. So this song that we're going to be checking out today is called Whalien 52. And have you heard of this? So there's this whale. I can't remember if this is a true story, if this is an actual whale, if this actually occurs in nature, but there's a whale that I think speaks at a frequency so low or so high. I think it's so high that no one else can hear it.
Okay, I believe that, but I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, and then like no other whales can hear it either. So it's
so this is like a stealth whale. It could,
or like no one. It has no one to talk to.
Okay.
No one to talk to. So the frequency.
Like a lonely existence.
Yes. So so it's about like loneliness. I can't. I should have done better research, but I forgot. And I can't. But it's about like loneliness, and
Sure.
They feel like a whale and an alien, a whaley. And so just know that there's and like sonar plays with like
Okay.
frequencies. Okay.
So
So
the main emotion that we're looking for is loneliness here.
loneliness and feeling like an alien, and then also to kind of, because it's, yeah, well, you'll hear it.
Okay.
All right, so
Should I just play it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah. The most lonely creature in the world. You want to know my story? I never told this to anybody. Yeah. Come on.
I just have a question. That whole opening monologue was in English. Is that common?
I mean, he's bilingual. He's
Okay.
bilingual.
I mean, for the audience over there, like you would assume that most people would get that, or
I think there's a lot of English and K-pop. Whether you know how like there's Spanish in American pop stuff.
Sure. It's like
Spanish.
it feels cool stylistically for
Okay, cool.
Okay, cool. Let's see. Cool. So what I'm hearing, I'm actually trying not to read the words that much. I'm trying to focus just mostly on what I'm hearing.
Okay.
But, it feels like the verse almost has a little more anger in it, or anger about being alone or whatever, and then the chorus has a more emotive, sensitive side. This the harmonies in the song, like the chord progression, it's really centered on the 4 chord. And I don't want to get too technical, but for anyone that plays piano or whatever, like if you're playing in C, then the 4 chord is F, right?
Okay.
And so so the verse is almost stuck on that 4 chord, and it just like it keeps coming back to it over and over again, and then it starts to move around in the chorus of the song when it gets really emotive. It goes 4 3 2 and then to the 6th chord, which is the minor, the sad chord, right?
My favorite chord.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I actually I like working around those chords a lot too. Sometimes when I work on a scene that has kind of a like, it's like a bittersweet scene where you know, maybe it's like in a romance scene or a romantic comedy or something, and maybe she really wants to be with him and she loves him, but she can't because of some problem, and then there's like that heartache in there. I like to play around in that 4 chord, 3 chord, 2 chord area, kind of.
Okay.
It's kind of similarly. So I don't know if I don't know. Again, I'm trying not to read the words. I'm trying to focus mostly on what I'm hearing, but I don't know if that's kind of what you get out of it too. Let's keep going. Is this a new vocalist, like in this song? I mean, are they kind of rotating through the band now and taking turns now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. You hear it now? It's changing. It goes down to right. So the English there is lonely, lonely, lonely whale, is what he's saying?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Like, yeah, I feel like it's, I mean, just emotionally what it's communicating to me is, from, you know, just from what I'm hearing, is it's not like a really depressing, super depressing, lonely song. It's more, you know, it's more like it's that pathetic lonely. Do you know what I mean? It's it's like, it's a song that's maybe if it's talking about loneliness, it wants the listener to feel like, oh, I can relate to that, or it's like, I felt that exact same thing, or I know what you're feeling when you say that, you know. It's and in kind of a bittersweet way, maybe. It's not, I don't know, maybe I use that word too much.
It's okay.
That's that's what I strive to do in my music a lot. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I don't like it when music is only happy or only sad. I like it when it's there's a blend of emotions. It's like conflicting emotions. There's like,
Mm.
you know, that's what I
Well,
find.
that's like any plot or any story, right? If it's just one thing, that's why there's like a villain, right? That you need conflict.
Yeah. There's only one emotion through the whole movie. It's a bad movie.
Right, right.
Right? And then and that's when you're writing music to try to make emotions that try to fabricate emotions and make it a better movie, right? But no, when so I, you know, because I'm always thinking from the point of view of like being a storyteller, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
and so it would be interesting to like I said, I'm trying to ignore the words for the most part, but it'll be
Okay.
interesting to see like if I was right about any of this from what I'm hearing. Just keep going.
Okay.
You know those really high things? It sounds like a synthesizer, that really high part that's moving around a lot.
Uh-huh.
You know
Mm-hmm.
those are voices, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's something that we do in our R&B over here also. It's
Okay. So it's
right.
but remember the song is about a whale that is at a frequency so high you can't hear it.
Okay.
So
Cool. Okay, let's keep going. Cool. I love the way they ended it. How they just they pull all the production out and thin it out right there.
mm-hmm.
Like I'm backing up to, well, you can see on your screen, I'm like at 330. Oh, right there. That's nice. Right there when they pull everything out.
Yeah.
You feel that?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool though. That's you know, it's this is something that I had to learn as a film composer actually. It's like when you're starting out, you always think that you create emotion by adding things. Right? And it's like if there's a moment that you want dramatically, you create it by getting louder there or adding more instruments or whatever. And sometimes that happens, but it's like you learn that in certain situations, it's more powerful to take things out. So it's like if you have a lot of music going and then it hits a moment where all of a sudden it thins out because something happens on the screen. It's like it goes into slow motion, she starts crying or something like that. So all the music thins down to like one note. You know? It's like these things are some of these things work across all these different genres of music, you know, and it's like you can do this in pop like we just did here, where you thin out the production, and it's what it does is it makes the music all of a sudden feel more intimate. The ear focuses on the voices more. The beat's gone now, and it's just it's a way of surprising the expectation of your ear to where all of a sudden the music has a different feel to it, and it's those are always moments that I look for in movies where it's like where's the emotional change happening in a scene, and then how do I go along with that? And sometimes, like I was saying, a lot of times people want to bring in like, oh, let me add an instrument there or whatever. But sometimes you got to try it the other way around and then pull everything out, and then that's actually more powerful sometimes.
How do you know? How do you decide? You just do both and see what happens?
Yeah, so, I mean, sometimes you just try each one and see what it feels like both ways, and see what feels better. Send it to the director both ways and see what they like better. But then also, I think depending on the situation, the dramatic situation in a scene, you start to develop a certain kind of intuition for what's probably going to work if you've seen that kind of a scene before.
Got it.
Yeah. But, I think just because of my line of work, my brain always goes to like storytelling.
Right? No, well, they're storytellers. I mean, these songs are all stories. They're telling a story about how they feel like a whale, how like they tell a story about a whale, so all their songs are stories too.
Yeah. I just think it's interesting and forgive me, I don't remember the name of this song, but there was a song where it was just one of their singers wrote a song about his relationship with his piano.
Oh yeah, Sugar.
Yeah. I really liked that because we don't see that kind of thing that much over here in the United States, and I think that part of the thing that's fascinating for me is that in certain cultures you might write music about a certain topic or a certain theme or whatever, and then that theme becomes very popular. It's just like I think we've talked about this before in rock music. Sometimes a lot of people are very self-referential to their guitar. It's like, oh, I'm in love with my guitar. They write lyrics about their guitar in the song, right? And then and that's just one example, but I guess what I'm saying is like I would struggle to find songs in the American music industry that are written about whales, and so then for us that's like a really unusual and novel thing, and I wonder if
I'm pretty sure it's unusual across the board.
But and I don't know if this speaks to even if it's really unusual in Korea, I don't know if this speaks to the popularity and clout of BTS that they can do this and people like their record label won't question them, and they say like, no, you can't, like they wouldn't have people saying, no, you can't do this or no, buy this or whatever, because I just know how the entertainment industry works over here, and
right.
You have to be like a pretty big artist to get away with something like that.
It came out,
finance the whole thing basically.
It came out November 30th, 2015. So they were starting to get more popular. This is during their youth arc, their 花样年华, their most beautiful moment in life arc, like the Wong Kar-wai film. So we're same words, same meaning, but
yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, it's I mean, it's a metaphor, but even as a metaphor, it's not commonly seen in music.
That not to go back to technical things again too much.
No, it's great.
That chord progression I was talking about, where you start the phrase on the 4 chord, come down to the 3 chord, then the 2 chord, and then you either go to the 1 or the 6 chord after that. I feel like in my line of work, hearing a lot of Vietnamese pop songs that are in movies, I feel like I'm beginning, like this is kind of a bit of an Asian sound. Like I've heard.
Oh, maybe.
I know for sure that I've heard a couple of songs in Vietnam use that same chord progression to communicate a very similar emotion in a situation like I was talking about, in a kind of a heartbreak scene, or in a sensitive scene. It could even be a more positive emotion, but it would be like a sensitive ballad where two people are falling in love and they're becoming vulnerable and open to each other for the same time, or they're admitting their love to each other in a certain way for the first time. It's like, you know, and I've kind of told you how, because of listening to certain Japanese composers, I can sometimes hear a certain sound, like that my ears will clue me in, like this is probably from Japan, or this is from that culture. Like what one of my heroes is a composer named Joe Hisashi, who is the composer for all the Miyazaki films. And so he wrote the Totoro theme and Princess Mononoke and all these incredible scores. And I was listening to this live concert of him on YouTube. It's actually from 2015, I think, but it's like a 200-piece orchestra and like 800 singers. It was like crazy, right?
Wow.
It was like so cool. And but anyways, what I'm saying is like, you know, it's interesting to me, just like working in one country in Asia, and then when I get to hear music from Korea or from Japan, and then, you know, each one of those places does have their unique things, but then there's like there's almost like a commonality also in different places, and that's what I was alluding at with that that chord progression. You know, it's like I can actually see the scene right now that I know. I've heard a Vietnamese song do that. It's like a first dance scene in a film that I worked on 3 years ago. So.
So you don't hear this progression as much in Western music? Is that what you're saying?
I feel like not in today's pop music.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of like American pop songs. I know that, you know, there must be plenty, but in terms of current pop, not as much, and not and I don't really know how to explain it. I feel like this is something that I've heard in Vietnam, and this is
no. I mean, you can get the feeling of it, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much. Everyone, please like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we'll continue reacting to more. So, bye.
Yep.